Hello, everybody. This is Charles Rather again from AmLaw Group. Today, I wanted to talk about renewals of green cards and converting from a conditional green card to a permanent one. First, I should mention if you're just doing a renewal, that's a relatively straightforward process. Long-term green cards or permanent green cards are issued for 10-year periods. At the end of that 10-year period, you fill out a form, pay the fee, send it in. Really nothing to it unless, God forbid, you had some run-ins with the law, you had some maybe arrests, stuff like that. Then there might be some issues. But again, hopefully you're not one of those people. In that case, just renewing a green card, a permanent green card, every 10 years is a very straightforward process. Now, the process of going from a conditional green card to a permanent green card is a little bit more involved. And the two most common cases where that arise is with either an EB-5 or a marriage green card. So with the marriage green card, you, after 2 years of being in a marriage, you have to file the paperwork to show that, hey, this is a bona fide marriage, we're still married, here we have a joint life together, stuff like that. Most often they'll call you in for an interview, not necessarily always, it depends on your situation, the immigration office that's in your area, etc. So that's a pretty straightforward process for those getting a green card through marriage. Through the EB-5, it's a little bit more complicated. Again, with the EB-5, you initially get a green card for 2 years. And after the 2 years, then you have to file for the permanent green card for 10 years. The process of getting that permanent green card, it requires the filing of the Form 829, is a little bit more in depth. Not too much is required for the actual investor. We need more work and paperwork and information from the regional center and from the developer. Because at the 829 stage, most of the focus and effort is focused on the project itself. We have to show that the money was invested, it was invested according to the business plan, and that all the jobs were created that were promised in the business plan. So at that stage, we're working more with the regional center, getting that information about the project to show that the client or the investor has met all of these requirements. Again, very rarely are there problems at the 829 level. The only time when maybe you might have problems is when the project itself had some difficulties, had some problems. They had to maybe change the scope of construction, had to change the project. Fewer jobs were created than anticipated. In those circumstances, there might be some challenges, but I have to say in over 15 years of doing this, it's very hard for me to think of any problems we've had with the 829. So if you are an EB-5 investor at that stage of the 829, pretty much generally it's home. It's a straightaway stretch to getting your permanent green card, and there's not that many difficulties whatsoever. If you're somebody who's looking at an attorney to help you with your 829, or maybe you're at the beginning process of examining the EB-5 process, please feel free to reach out to us so we can give you some initial advice as to how to start off on this journey and how we can help you make that transition to the United States as simple and comfortable as possible. With you again, this was Charles Rather.